Hey, if you are a landlord in Orleans Parish in Louisiana, you need to pay attention to this. If you are not aware of what the Healthy Homes Ordinance is, then pay attention because there's deadlines coming up and things that you have to be aware of so you can be in compliance. So let me break it down. What is the Healthy Homes? I'm going to tell you more. This is not new. This is something that happened in November of 2022. It was an ordinance that was passed then. And what it is basically people are calling it the rental registry. But if you are a landlord in Orleans Parish, you have to register your rentals and make sure they're in good standing. It's what's called a certificate of compliance. And so the registration is something that is mandatory. And let's talk through who does this impact. So first of all, Orleans Parish landlords. So also, so you see here, rental property owners must have a certificate of compliance to rent housing units in New Orleans, again, Orleans Parish. The way they started rolling this out was that, apartments went first, then 4 to 49 dwelling units was up until August, but starting January 1st to February 15th, 2025, if you have a 1 to 3 unit rental property in Orleans Parish, this is where you have to get that certificate of compliance. How do you get that? So the way that you will do this is through the registration portal. Is they're using One Stop app, same place you do your permits and stuff like that. So you may already be familiar with that, but when you go, you want to look for specifically the registration portal for the Healthy Homes program. You will see here that there's actually a minimum rental standards. Basically, when you go and do that registration, you or someone representing you, manager or something like that, is saying that you guys have walked the property recently and verified that it met, and then there's a list of the minimum standards. Some things to pay attention to. They're literally setting what degrees your AC and heating is. The other thing is making sure that all kitchen sinks, bathtub, showers have hot and cold running water. You have at least one working bathroom. You have smoke detection systems, and you've got fire alarms, right? These things are the carbon monoxide detectors. That's not new for sure. Like, a lot of this stuff is not new. Obviously, what they're trying to do is to get rid of slumlords, but at the same time, it is important to understand what is being required, and so that you can meet the requirements here. You can go to NOLA.gov and look up the minimum rental standards for the Healthy Homes Ordinance for Orleans to be able to read all this. It's like 15 items. So you can actually go to the Healthy Homes and read through it. There's some other things you're going to need to do. One of them is you have to give an overview of your property, a drawing of it. Let me show you an example of what that looks like. So one of the things that you have to do is include a site plan. Basically, they just want to, they don't require it to have to be professionally done. Like, you don't have to go hire an architect to do a site plan. But basically, you have to label the units and label the streets and then point to where the door is. When someone talked about this, they're like, I don't want to have to label all the interior doors. No, just the exterior doors. So you can see here, you can even do a drawn one. But this is important. Like, for example, if you have a duplex, this is 132 Main Street, apartment 101, apartment 102, and here's the entrances for the doors. So these things are important. Again, this is from the City of New Orleans Healthy Homes Program. It's important to be informed of what's required of you. Just a few more things here. So this is from, again, the FAQs on the site. They said what defines a property. It says anyone that's not the owner that's occupying it. So this includes short-term rentals, but it could also, anything like a condo, apartments, townhomes that is leased, rented, or occupied by a person or persons. So technically, this could mean that if your family has a house here in town and they're letting you stay there, you don't necessarily have to be paying rent, apparently. So it could apply to a few different things like that. Short-term rentals, right? This applies to that as well. And a big question people have is, what about if I have Section 8? Hannah already does the inspections. It still says that the landlord is responsible for walking the property and making sure that the minimum standards are met. Guys, this is important. We don't know what will continue, after the final deadline. There's no fee to register for this. But at the same time, if you do not register in time, there is some consequences to this. There is, some of you may say, hey, I don't agree with this. Can we, what can we do? The time to do something was in 2022 when they were considering this ordinance. We worked really hard to get investors and inform them of all this, but at this point now, it is something that you need to educate yourself on and speak to your attorney about complying with it. Because at the end of the day, it is now an ordinance that you have to comply with. So let me know if you are a landlord in Orleans Parish. Have you submitted for your compliance, certificate of compliance yet for the Healthy Homes program? If so, let me know your experience below. And if you are interested in learning more about investing in the greater New Orleans area and in Louisiana, I frequently post content around that. So make sure you follow along, and I'd love to have you join.